is your Capricorn full moon outlook for July 10th, 2025. Now we have the moon in Capricorn at 18 degrees, and of course, the sun at 18 degrees of Cancer. And Capricorn, what is Capricorn? Capricorn is the 10th house. It's about ambitions and goals, it's about status. What else is the 10th house? It's about authorities, people in positions of power. Capricorn is dutiful, responsible, ruled by Saturn, and very business oriented. And because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, sometimes this can be connected with blocks or delays. Yes. And the 10th house is where there is power, the powers that be, all kinds of power. So, this full moon in Capricorn is going to be all about hard work, and there may be some issues with those in power. And we must be careful about how we, in particular, with this very kind of a heavy full moon in Capricorn, we must be very careful about how we come across to others. Why? Because the sun is in Cancer. And Cancer is the 4th house. It's about family, home, whether it's the physical home or the family unit or what you look to as family. It's about our sensitivities, nurturing ability, kindness. Capricorn is more ambitious, where the sun in Cancer is a bit more retiring, or the energy of Cancer is about caring. So these are going to be issues that are paramount now between the Capricorn full moon and the next new moon. So we want to be very, very sensitive to what we say because, well, right now with the sun in Capricorn, we may feel a little bit touchy with that full moon. And we will have to watch that we are not so ambitious or so focused on our needs, Capricorn full moon, that we overlook the sensitivities of others. And that's going to be very important. And on a broader scale, this may deal with authorities. We will have to really be cautious about what we say because we have that sense right now of power. And of course, the depositor of the full moon in Capricorn is what? It is Saturn with retrograde Neptune. So we may have this sense of power, authority, a strong sense of confidence. We're very goal oriented, we're very ambitious. And in our ambition and our desire to get what we want or to get ahead, well, we may have to be a little bit more, in particular, this Capricorn full moon, very clear about our desires, our needs, because Saturn, which rules restriction, is connected with what? Nebulous Neptune retrograde. So that's only going to kind of muddy the waters a little bit here. We may hear about communication mix up, tit for tat. We may have certain disagreements where the disagreements aren't really because we are in disagreement, but because our intentions and our voice, what we have to say, or for that matter, maybe what we don't say, or the impression that we give, could be a bit foggy or uncertain. Be very careful, in particular during this time, that you do not deceive or you're not deceived. This is going to be something that is well known now. Maybe those in authorities will be thought of, well, deceptive. Or maybe many people in authority will be thought of not speaking very effectively. What is being hidden? And it's not so much that there is intentional deception, it's just with the depositor of this Capricorn moon as Neptune with retrograde Neptune gives the impression that we are deceptive. But could there be some deception in the works? Absolutely. Because even with now Neptune in early Aries, well, Neptune likes to conceal the truth. And because it is retrograde, there may be some past issues that we will have to clear, or we will have this sense of feeling blocked because Neptune is with Saturn. We're going to feel like, okay, maybe we got to tell the truth about something. Maybe we got to be focused on really being honest now, not clouding the atmosphere with uncertainty. And because this is a Capricorn full moon, with the, of course, the opposition to the sun in Cancer, well, this is actually going to serve us well to be very forthright. Nonetheless, this is going to be what the issues are, both what is in the news and in our personal life. We don't want to come across as hiding something, keeping something hidden, mysterious. And that is what's going to come up now. There could be people in positions of authority we just don't think are telling it like it is. And because Saturn is with Neptune retrograde, we may feel it is our duty, Capricorn and Saturn, to expose the truth about something in particular. Yes, indeed. And the North Node is in Pisces yet, and it is at 20 degrees. And of course, naturally, the South Node is in Virgo. These are very sensitive points I like to emphasize. And the North Node makes a trine to the sun. So that's very good for our sensitivities. It's really good for some good sit down psychology this month. We really want to dig deep and get to the root force of problems, whether it's family, whether it's relationships, whether it's our own psyche, who knows? So this is a good thing, especially in the face of this Capricorn full moon with Saturn and Neptune, feeling a little bit uneasy with that deception going on. We're going to need to really kind of do some psychoanalysis. And that may be the theme this month, really digging deep into feelings and emotions and all kinds of sensitivities. But this is positive because with the sextile to the South Node in Virgo, the trine to the North Node in Pisces, well, this helps us to, that's right, heal. So that's also what the theme is going to be about during this full moon, is about healing, self-reflection, And that could include all forms of healing, whether it's physical healing, mental healing, psychiatry, psychology, uh, feeling good about ourselves and really creating kind of a self-awareness in all areas. And this, if you look on a broader scale, this may also have something to do with healing and physical health and that type theme during this full moon. And yes, indeed. Hello, welcome, Uranus in Gemini. And Gemini Uranus is at the 0 critical degrees and making a really wide conjunction with sweet Venus. Oh, this month we will appreciate the weird, wacky, and a little bit of the unusual because that's what Venus is about. Venus is about appearances, it's about beauty, it's about affections and emotions. And with Uranus there with a rather wide conjunction with sweet Venus, well, we will appreciate our freedom in relationships. And this may also be another theme with Uranus in its 0 degree critical with sweet, beautiful, affectionate Venus. We may be discussing all forms of unusual art, beauty, fashion, and what else? What else is Uranus? It's about, yeah, it's about our liberation. How do our, well, how do we express our affection? And we may have discussions about all kinds of unusual love relationships or expressing affection in unusual ways. It may affect relationships, how we view different forms of relationships. But on the other hand, because Venus is connected with beauty, well, there may be some new forms of beauty, or we may have different viewpoints during this time of what we think beauty is. But with Uranus, anything goes. Uranus just wants to be rebellious uh, and unusual. And this will be the type theme with fanciful Venus in Gemini as well. Look out for the unusual, weird, and the wonderful this full moon. And we've got Mars, the planet of action, and it is creeping ever so close to that conjunction with the South Node. But 13 to 20 degrees, it's getting within that window of the conjunction. So South Node, like the North Node, probably a little bit more so, is a very touchy kind of a point there. And Mars is the aggressor, but Mars is not exactly at its best in Virgo because Virgo is picky, it's critical, but it is also that of, yes, of research. And Mars, the planet of action within the sign of Virgo, is what? Taking action with sixth house matters. The matters of employment, work, business, keeping everything up to snuff, really making sure everything lines up right now. We may be a little bit too hypercritical, and this could cause issues. And because Venus is going to creep closer to that square to Mars. Yes, indeed. So we don't want to be too hyper vigilant. We don't want to be too hypercritical because that may create disagreements this month. So make sure You kind of take a hint from the sun in Cancer with that sweet trine to the north node in Pisces, and really apply your kindness, your compassion, instead of really being a little bit too particular about the details. But that is a good trait with Mars in Virgo, because Mars is about action and hard work and really keeping everything organized in our life. So that's a good thing. And so this month is going to be very business oriented, at least during the time of the Capricorn full moon. We want to work and work hard, and we are just being a tad bit perfectionistic. Just don't let that spill over into your relationships. No, you really want to be a little less, uh, well, critical. And Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer still. Oh, yes. Where is our luck gonna be? Well, of course, Jupiter in the sign of Cancer is connected with the fourth house. So we're feeling awfully lucky with maybe some of those investments, maybe the stock market. We may have some good news during this time. Home and family interests, fourth house interests are going to become paramount. So there may be some news about the real estate market. Because Jupiter is there, I'm inclined to think it will be more positive than negative, and all kinds of issues regarding different kinds of living situations, helping those in need that may be underprivileged, kind of reaching out and caring for others, nurturing others. This is where we will find our luck and our happiness, and anything, everything connected with the family unit, you name it, anything to do with fourth house interest. Yes. And Pluto, oh boy, Pluto, always the powerhouse, is retrograde. And Pluto and Uranus, well, now they're friendly now. Oh, this is too good. However, Pluto is at 2 degrees retrograde. So what is Pluto? Kind of like the moon this month in Capricorn. It's with authorities. And because Pluto is retrograde right now, Pluto is not exactly at its best either. Pluto, because it rules power, we may find that some of the powers that be are acting so unpredictable. We won't be able to keep track of who is doing what, where, and when, because powers that be may say things that we may find, well, Uranus, Aquarius, rather shocking. And even Pluto now with authorities is acting rather rebellious. But let's keep in mind, it does make somewhat of a wide trine to Venus and a 2-degree trine to Uranus. Oh, Uranus loves to shock. Yes, indeed. And that is, by the way, now the depositor of Pluto. Both of them early on. So this is good. There's a big shift from Earth to air. So this could be positive, actually, because we are not really getting involved with the drama. We are still sensible. I mean, after all, Uranus and Pluto are early on in their degrees, so they kind of still have a little bit of that leftover Earth sensibility going on. But nonetheless, Pluto and Uranus are in air, and Uranus, because it is the wonderful depositor of Pluto in Aquarius, oh yes, there's going to be a lot of inventions, and even inventions from just average people that may become really helpful and useful later on. And as we can see here, Pluto is an Aquarius. It's going to be all about technology, much more so AI. And with this Mercurial Uranus in Gemini, oh, everything and anything is about communications plus. And with Venus and Gemini, oh boy, the communication during this full moon is going to be fast and furious. We will have a love of social media, social anything, communications plus inventions. It's all about ideas because that's what Uranus is about with its Mercury as its ruler. It's all about ideas. This is a very expressive month as well. We are expressing our individuality. This is a good time to show off a little bit. Why? That's right. Look over here. Mercury is in Leo, and Leo loves the show. Yes, indeed. And that is the depositor of Uranus during the time of this full moon. So a lot is even more so emphasized with the arts, whether it's celebrities, whether it's performing arts, whether it's fine arts, or there's going to be a lot of people that just want to express their opinions and kind of show off a little bit. Perhaps there will be someone that comes to the forefront now connected with entertainment that really kind of dazzles us a little bit with this connection with Venus and Uranus, with the depositor of Mercury, and that very cool connection with Pluto in Aquarius, even retrograde. So, because Pluto, however, is retrograde, we may find some frustration with those rebellious authorities right now. We want answers, and there's going to be a lot that is brought up from the past. Maybe some of those people in authority are overstepping their bounds because guess what the full moon is in now? Capricorn. And Capricorn loves power sometimes for power's sake. So there may be some issues. In fact, during this time with the Capricorn full moon, with, well, some authorities that may be out of bounds, and some we may have to literally overthrow because of why? What did we start off talking about? Saturn, the depositor of this full moon with nebulous and also retrograde Neptune. So be on the lookout for a changing of hands with overthrowing some authorities, getting out of hands with, well, to be blunt, some lies and overstepping their bounds. Wonderful Capricorn full moon. And Uranus, Pluto, the rebel, although Uranus is its depositor in Aquarius retrograde. So this really emphasizes issues with unauthority, well-known, or authorities that aren't just being straightforward. They are not telling it like it is. And some of them will be possibly replaced. Pluto retrograde and Neptune retrograde with Saturn. And boy, we are going to figure out what's going on underneath the surface. We got to do some of that Mars and Virgo research. But this is all good with the positive side with Mars and Virgo. It's about really digging and getting to the facts. That's also going to be discussed this month with all kinds of possibly even medical research. So it is somewhat of an intense Capricorn full moon, but you can guarantee authorities and authority figures is going to be paramount and making changes and really figuring out the wheat from the chaff, who's honest and who's dishonest. It's about really going within with this sensitive sun in Cancer trining the north node and sextiling the south node. It's about healing ourselves and looking to all forms of healing. And that can also include relationships. And of course, it's about the weird and the wonderful in all artistic areas because we got Venus with now the newbie on the block, Uranus in Gemini. So this month is about being honest, being clear in your thought, and clear in your intention and clear in your speech. Because we don't want to have issues simply because we are misread. If we can keep everything clear, everything up front and on the table, don't overstep our bounds with regards to power and authority, and really kind of critique our work, just keep our axe to the grindstone, really apply our compassion within family and home. Well, then, this Capricorn full moon holds a lot of promise.